Hello Lithuania, my name is Nick Price. I am the CEO of Bright Purple, the technology recruiters based in Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland, and here in the UK. And I was contacted by Asta, the new executive director of British Chambers of Commerce in Lithuania, to ask me if I would be able to talk about mental health in the pandemic from my point of view here in Scotland, the UK. Very pleased to do that. I've obviously had a relationship dating back to 2010 with Lithuania. I was serving board member of the British Chambers of Commerce for a couple of years while I was out in Vilnius, one of my all-time favourite cities, one of my all-time favourite countries, and I spend as much time back as I can. Actually, the last time I travelled was February to Lithuania to deliver a speech for the British Chamber of Commerce at the Burns Supper. And since then, it's been stuck in Edinburgh, basically. 23rd of March, Scotland went into lockdown, and Scotland really hasn't come out of lockdown. We've been under all kinds of restrictions since March, and we are under more restrictions again now as the pandemic rages in the UK. England has gone into lockdown, and Scotland, I'm pretty sure, is soon going to follow. We're still wearing masks everywhere we go, and we are seeing, I suppose, two sides to that. We're seeing people complying, and we're seeing people not complying. There's a huge problem looming with mental health, and as Asta asked me to speak about it, maybe I'll just give you some thoughts. I suppose personally, I'm a business leader. I have 30 people here at Bright Purple, and as a business leader, my concern for my people is that some of our people are struggling with being locked away. After all, we're all human beings, we're all social animals, and we're not very good being locked in our cages, our homes. Some of my people are working out of their flats. Some of my people are working alongside partners, husbands, wives, who are also trying to work from home. And the pressure is immense. Anxiety, stress are on the rise. Here in Scotland, anxiety and stress levels are through the roof, to be honest. It's fair to say that, I live at home with a wife, two grown-up girls who should be out doing something with their lives but are locked down with us. And I've had my ups and down days. I have struggled with being locked down. I'm a social animal, and, usually I'm traveling or I'm meeting with people, and I haven't been anywhere since March. I've had 2 lunches since March outside of my house, and both times with colleagues from Bright Purple, and both socially distanced. So yeah, it's getting to me. I'm suffering pandemic fatigue. I have been for some time now. Put a smile on it because I've got a company to run and people depend on us. Here at Bright Purple, we are concerned about the next stages of a potential lockdown. Winter's upon us now. Winter will soon be upon us. In the UK, and we are seeing more and more people starting to suffer colds and sniffles. And if you add that to the pandemic, which is obviously raging here in the UK anyway, it means further lockdowns, local lockdowns, national lockdowns, etc. England has just gone into national lockdown, and I don't think Scotland will be far behind it, to be honest. So I also serve the board of an amazing mental health charity called Lifelink, based in Glasgow. Last year, Lifelink, pre the pandemic, helped 8,000 what we call clients, people who use our services, with mental health challenges. 8,000 people in Glasgow and the west of Scotland. That was 8,000 people pre the pandemic. And what I can tell you now is that number is going to be absolutely smashed out of the pan. Because now it's not only people who are from the, I suppose, those people who've been dealt a tough hand in life. They maybe come from an area of Scotland that has always had hardship, etc. They might be involved with drink, drugs, etc. And these people have always had challenges around anxiety and stress, etc. Lifelink, one of the jobs that Lifelink does is it helps school children as young as 11 years old with mental health problems at school, which is a sad fact. But now what we're seeing is a rise in people like myself, middle class business people, basically. We're seeing people lose their jobs. We're seeing people lose their homes. We're seeing people who are not sure if their employers are going to survive. Small companies are going down at a rate of knots here in the UK. This office of Bright Purple, where I'm calling from, where I'm speaking to you from today, is right in the heart of the city. I've walked these streets recently, and it's pretty apparent that a number of buildings around here are empty, vacated, signs up everywhere. It's also apparent that a number of businesses aren't going to survive. There are certain industries that are absolutely struggling just now. The retail industry is in disarray. The hospitality industry is just shot. Here, restaurants and pubs serving alcohol can't open. They're on a 2-week shutdown again just now. And I know a pub owner. She owns a number of pubs here in Edinburgh. She's in a very, very sad, I suppose, state because every time she tries to open and she can't. So from a mental health point of view, that just can't be good for you. I think that anxiety and stress levels are just part of it, but also here we're seeing things like the rise of domestic abuse, where couples are locked down and maybe there's already tension between the couples. Sadly, there are cases now where obviously an abusive partner has basically free range to carry on because they're locked down together, and it's very, very sad. Suicides are rising here in the UK, but again, with mental health being now, it's a big topic. It's a big topic. It's not just as we used to think about. I suppose when I was a youngster, people who were mentally ill were crazy, were crazies. These days we all have mental health. Some of us have good mental health, and some of us have bad mental health, and some of us are in the middle. I'm possibly in the middle. I've had my good days and I've had my bad days. So now the topic is so big. Services here in the UK are coping today, but I think that what's coming is a tsunami. I think what's coming is an absolute tsunami. If you look at things like PTSD, so post-traumatic stress disorder, very much a common theme amongst military people returning from battlefields and from war zones, etc. And PTSD was something that you heard often military people suffering from. But now, normal people like me, we can all suffer PTSD. And as people go through the stress of trying to cope through this pandemic, trying to stay in a job, trying to keep a family afloat, etc., then stress levels are rising, and those stress levels are turning into PTSD. So we're seeing far more people that are non-military suffering from PTSD. It's not good. From a point of view of business, what are we doing here at Bright Purple? Communication. Tons of communication. All of our furloughed people are now back at work, so our full contingent of staff are back. We are busy, and we're fortunate that we're busy. We're technology recruiters. Technology market is very busy, so we've got all our people back. And but during that time of lockdown, we were conscious that those people that were furloughed were in need of constant communication. So we were speaking to our people that were furloughed 2-3 times a week. We've set up buddying systems to make sure that people aren't alone and that people understand that we are here for them. We made a promise to our people that we would bring them back. We've done that as quick as we can. We've had to filter them back, but we have now got everybody back. But even though we're back, we're still locked down. So, I've come into the office today. We're not really allowed to be office bound unless it's an absolute necessity. So we still have the situation where our people are working from home, and we're trying to make sure that as good employers that we stay close to them. We can't do social events with them. We've done plenty of stuff online with them, but being online and being tactile and personal and up close is not the same thing. We're a company of huggers. For those people who know me in Lithuania, I was once told when I first came over, Lithuanians don't hug. So shake their hand, but don't hug. For those of you who know me, I'm a hugger, and I've never apologized for leaving a meeting with a hug. But for what that means is for Bright Purple, where we're all huggers, it's very difficult indeed to be at one end of a Teams call and to see your colleagues and knowing that some of your colleagues are struggling, with potentially poor mental health. We're doing what we can. We're engaging with specialists, and luckily, because I'm a board member of Lifelink, we can get professional help. I think for companies in general, there's a mixed bag. Some companies aren't treating this seriously, and I know a particular company where they've made their people work right the way through this pandemic, which actually probably is illegal, but they've done it. And what does that mean? If you're trying to create a brand and you're trying to that supports a culture that wants to breed loyalty, then you have to look after your people. People are your main asset. It doesn't matter what product or service you have. If you don't have the right people, the best people, then you are not going to see the other end of this in one piece. So priority number one is to make sure that your people are okay. I'm CEO of this company. I will not bring Bright Purple people back to Bright Purple offices until I'm absolutely convinced that it's safe to do that. We've been away from these offices since March. Will we come back this year? No, we won't. Will we come back at the start of next year? I don't know. But as CEO of Bright Purple, I have a duty of care for the well-being of my people. I cannot imagine what I would feel like if a Bright Purple person caught COVID and died on my watch. So I think that, the message is pretty clear. People first, forget profit, forget all the nice things, put everything you can into your people. Right now, that's exactly what Bright Purple are doing. We are not worrying about profit. We are worrying about getting through this to the other end with all of our people intact, with as best mental health as they possibly could have. And actually, that includes me as well. I'd like to come out of this with decent mental health, because I'm also bearing the stress of making sure 30 others get through this as well. How did I manage that? I bought a puppy. Yeah, I'm a proud owner of a puppy called Winnie. And she just made her appearance yesterday here at Bright Purple. She came in and saw the offices for the first time. And she's now our second dog at the office. She joins Arthur. I suppose we all cope in different ways, and we all have a need. So the important thing is that you talk. All I can say to you is talk. I have suffered from ups and downs through this pandemic, and I haven't been afraid to talk about it. I've talked about it to friends, to colleagues. I've talked about it online as well. So I think it's very, very important that you talk. I know that can be difficult, and to admit that you're not feeling good. I know it can be difficult to admit that, maybe, I'm a guy. Is it seen as a weakness? Is it seen as a sign that, that I'm not capable of doing my job? From the feedback I've had, it's seen as a sign of strength. The fact that I'm able to tell people that I haven't felt brilliant, that I have been suffering from, pandemic fatigue, etc., has been great. I've had some amazing conversations with people. So that's kind of my view on what's going on here in the UK. We're in the thick of a big battle. COVID is real. COVID is killing people. And I know right now that Lithuania seems to have escaped the worst of it. I would worry that you have had it good and then it comes back and you don't take it seriously, because I can tell you from first-hand experience here, it's bad. My wife had it. My wife has had COVID, and thankfully is now over it and okay. I have friends who have lost relatives to it, and I have friends who are currently suffering from it. Some of them hospitalised. Actually, 6 people at the mental health charity Lifelink have now been struck down with it. 2 of them being hospitalised. One with a very bad lung problem now. So it is real. We're seeing it firsthand here in the UK, and I simply pray that Lithuania escapes it. I want this all over because I want to come back to Lithuania. The Burns Supper is fast approaching for the British Chambers of Commerce. I'm a guest speaker there, and I'll be gutted if if I'm not coming back over at the invite of British Chambers for a Burns Supper. But at the end of the day, safety first. We've all got to be safe. We've all got to get through this. That's what's important. To Asta, good luck in the job. I know you're relatively new to the Chambers, but you're following Sandra, who was an incredible woman. And I know that there's a lot of support for Britain in Lithuania, as there is a lot of support for Lithuania here in Britain. And, I want to continue my relationship with British Chambers, with business in Lithuania. I love making friends out there, I seem to spend my days on Facebook these days when I've got a quiet moment, finding a new friend in Lithuania. Respect to everybody out there. Stay safe. Please take care of your own mental health, because if you can't take care of your own mental health, you're no use to anybody else. Seek help if you need it. Make sure that your staff are okay, and respect Lithuania. Take care. Bye.